right, so we're moving right on to lesson 31. Wait, but yesterday's lesson was lesson 29. Guess what? Lesson 30, when I look into my book, is a test. Yeah, that's what I felt too. I didn't want to give you guys a test without me there. I think that's kind of unfair in this situation. So we're just going to move straight on to lesson 31 for now. Moving right on. So in part A, we have 3 columns. The first column has some underlined sections followed by whole words. So I'm going to have you guys read the underlined section, then say the whole word. Underlined section, whole word. Go like that the whole time. And then column 2 and 3 will be just straight up, just the words. It should be pretty straightforward. We've done this a lot, so let's just get started. Number 1, with your finger on number 1, column 1, underline part. What word? Half. Whole word, half folded. Number 2, underline part, eag. Whole word, eagle. Number 3, underline part, for, whole word, forgot. And number 4, underline part, mon, whole word, monster. So when we repeat this, we'll repeat the whole word, but now you've seen those parts that make up that word. Just helps make us a little bit easier at recognizing those words and words that are similar. Column 2. Column 2, I'm going to read the word and then you're going to say it afterwards. So column 2, word 1 is leathery. What word? Number 2, breaths. What word? Now if you look at number 2, it looks almost like it would say the breathes, right? But think about this. Breathe has an E at the end, right? And just taking a breath does not. When we put that S at the end, we didn't lose the E because there was no E in the first place. We're talking about breaths of fresh air or taking deep breaths. It's spelled B-R-E-A-T-H-S. It's there to trick you. So number 2 was what word? Breaths. Good. All right, number 3, instantly. What word? Great, I know you instantly knew that one. Number 2, mouthful. What word? Number 5, immediately. What word? And number 6, lying. What word? All right, number 3. We're just going to read those one after another. This one, we know the words, but they can get tricky when we read them in this order. So be careful, okay? Look very carefully. It's going to do you so much more to just watch the words, put your finger on the words as we go along, than it is to watch me, okay? So look at the paper right now. Column 3, word 1. What word? Started. Word 2. What word? Stared. Word 3. What word? Sailed. Word 4. What word? Slid. Word 5. What word? Spread. And word 6. What word? Attract. Yikes. Started and stared. Those 2. When you are in the middle of reading a passage, those 2 will trick you up. You have to look carefully. They're just one letter apart, just that extra T. And yet, do you guys notice how much of a difference it makes? One letter makes a huge difference in the words, so we need to make sure we're paying attention to the whole word and not just guess it. Because here's what happens when people read to me out loud. They see the beginning, they see S-T-A-R, and they're like, oh, I got this. They see at the end, they see the E-D at the end, they're like, I know what word it is. And then they say starred or stared or started when that's not the word they were looking for. Be careful. Look at the whole word. It might slow you down half a second, and that's okay. Half a second, way better than saying the wrong word here, okay? Take your time. Be careful because I know you can read these things. With that being said, let's try reading all of them quickly but carefully. Kind of like how you would run if you were running on a tightrope. You would take every possible chance to make sure your foot was in the right spot, but you'd be going as quickly as possible. Here we're going to go as quickly as possible, but take care that we are reading in the same spot, looking at all of the letters. Okay? All right, column 1. First word, what word? Second word, sorry, maybe I should read this with you. First word, what word? Half folded. Second word, what word? Eagle. Third word, what word? Forgot. Fourth word, what word? Monster. Column 2. First word, what word? Leathery. Second word, what word? Breaths. Third word, what word? Instantly. Fourth word, what word? Mouthful. Fifth word, what word? Immediately. Sixth word, what word? Lying. Make sure you're reading these yourself and not just listen to what I'm saying. Column 3. Word 1, what word? Started. Word 2, what word? Stared. Word 3, what word? Sailed. Word 4, what word? Slid. Word 5, what word? Spread. And word 6, what word? Attract. Yes, I whispered those because you need to be focusing on your own words and not on me, okay? Especially for that last column. All right. Now we get to move into the actual story. Ay, ay, ay. This is labeled with the title, The Monster. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's find out. Just as Edna was going to tell Carla about the tree in the book, a loud flapping sound came from the sky. A huge bird-like animal sailed down from above the jungle. It wasn't a bird because it didn't have feathers. It had large wings that looked like leather. The animal had large, sharp teeth. As the animal got close to the ground, Edna could see that it was very big, bigger than an eagle. The animal flapped its leathery wings loudly as it landed in the middle of the clearing. When it landed, the girls could see it more clearly. Carla whispered, "What is that thing?" Edna said, "It's an animal that lived 100 million years ago." Edna and Carla stared at the animal. It was on a rock, with its wings half folded and its mouth open. "Let's get out of here," Edna said. The girls began to sneak down the path toward the beach. Suddenly the ground shook and there was a terrible crashing sound. The ground shook again. Edna couldn't tell where the sound was coming from. She ran from the path and hid behind a vine-covered tree. Then she realized that the crashing sound was moving closer and closer. It was coming from the beach and moving down the path toward the clearing. A large tree crashed to the ground right in front of Edna. Above her was the form of a monster. It was standing in the path that Edna and Carla had followed. Edna could smell the animal. It gave off a smell something like garbage. Edna instantly recognized the animal. Tyrannosaurus. The monster moved so quickly that Edna could hardly believe it. Like lightning, it turned its head one way and then another. Its mouth was open. It seemed to be smiling, with teeth as big as knives. The huge bird-like animal was the huge bird-like animal in the clearing spread its wings and started to flap them. Immediately, Tyrannosaurus turned its head in the direction of the animal. An instant later, the monster was running toward the winged animal. With each step, the ground shook. As Tyrannosaurus ran toward the clearing, Its huge tail followed. It hit the tree that Edna had been standing behind. The tree cracked. Edna, you've got to start there. You get to start reading from the word Edna to the end of this story. Now, we talked about what it means to be reading aloud and why it's important to read aloud. It's really important because that's one of the ways we can tell how strong of a reader you are is by reading to me. And you know that reading aloud is a really important skill. So that's what you're practicing right now, is that ability to take a text that you haven't read yet and read it aloud. So you're going to read from the start to the end. Read with as much expression as you can, just like I just did. And please take your time double checking the words as you go. Okay? Now, you can have your parents sign off that you read, or you can record yourself reading. Both of these are options. It really does depend on what is more readily available to you. If technology is not available, get an adult to say you read. If an adult's not available, use the technology. I know you've got one of those things. Well, you've got both those things, but one of those things is going to be more easily available to you. That depends on who you are. So you figure that part out. I'm here to accept either way. Even if this means you need to call me up and say, Miss Sarah, can I just read to you? Go for it. Seriously, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, so let me know, okay? So read from the start to the end, and then you should have a few questions to answer at the end. So take out a piece of paper, or you can write directly in your packet, however you prefer. Have a great rest of your day.